Wow, 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 wow. Now we really got reservations, right? On some ass whooping. Man, I'm telling you right now, drugged, beat down, despicable. I'm talking about just wow. All I can say is, man, this don't look like anywhere close to a Super Bowl caliber team. This doesn't even look like a playoff team. Hey, I know this not overreacting Monday, because you know normally you gotta wait till Monday until you overreact. But I told everybody, I said everybody out there, we need a veteran defensive back out there. Whether it be you go out, you got to spend some money. But beyond that, you know, the coaching callings of the plays, I'm talking about, man, this was an ass whooping, a beat down, the whole like normally. Now normally when we lose, I don't watch ESPN, I don't watch Fox or anything, but I'm really ready to watch it now because we got our ass handed to it, boy. And salute to those who salute to the Denver Broncos, man. I was telling people from the day one that in order to be a Super Bowl caliber team, you still got to get that one or two veteran player to be out there in the backfield. Not the Nolan Carrolls of the world, right? But, and I told you I had my reservations. The defensive backs did okay. I think the Jordan Lewis's did okay, you know. But it's just that we still don't have a game changer on the defense. So I may be going back and forth all year with this, man. But the blueprint is out, baby. The blueprint is out on how to beat and dominate the Cowboys. Just let their coaching staff beat them, you know. Let the Cowboys hang themselves, basically. I mean, if you look at it, you know, they refuse, and I'm talking about absolutely refuse to run the ball in the first quarter. It doesn't matter whether or not you get 2 or 3 yards. What that does is it pushes this team. It makes the team in the opposition that you playing against change the mentality. They was pumped and geeked up the whole game, man. It's just one of those things, man. Hey, we can say get rid of Jason Garrett. I remember people was going out there saying we should have the coach for the Saints. Look how that's going about right now. You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, stupidity is stupidity, man. There's only one. And then on top of that, you know, for to get beat down 42-17, which we are a technically quote unquote a playoff team, right? To get beat down just like that by a rookie coach. A coach that never coached before in the league. I'm telling you, man, salute to everybody who have to, you know, go to work tomorrow and wear their Cowboys paraphernalia. I still want you guys to have it on, but the Denver Broncos proved that they Big D. You know, they Big D does all day long. From the beginning, from the snap of the whistle, through the echoes of the whistle. There was a blueprint on Dak. Calm down. Hey man, say what you want to say, man. But somebody saying Romo time. Romo wouldn't have lived through this game because they was coming after him, man. They folded my brother from another mother. No other Dak Prescott like a folding chair. They fold that brother up, man. He was like a pretzel. And I'm telling you, man, this Denver. And I was telling everybody, the TJ Watts of the world, right? He fits the motif of I'm not calling TJ Watts a Von Miller, but I'm telling you right now, in order to get sacks on this doggone league, the NFL, you don't need a guy to put his hand in the dirt. You don't need to necessarily run a 3-4. You don't have to have a prototypical 6'7", 280-pound guy. You just need somebody to wear out La'el Collins. La'el Collins, he won the first match. La'el won all the way to the fourth quarter. And when he got to start getting tired, and you got somebody small like 250 pounds, 6'3". A lot of times La'el Collins beat him off to the point, punched him right and everything. but the guy kept on. The guy runs a 4.45 40, whatever it is. You know, he was able to get beyond the play and have that recovery speed to get around the back. That's what we need on our team. So hopefully Demontre Moore be that esque of a type of player. And I do know that he's not even in the same breath of a Von Miller. But if we continue to just draft the way we do as far as defensive line and the defense choices that we pick, you know, Byron Jones was unheard of today in a negative fashion because he took terrible angles, man. 3rd and long, they got this guy number 22, CJ Anderson, looking like Emmett out there, you know. Coaching staff was just everywhere. But yeah. I'm not saying that everybody need to overreact and all this stuff, but it is the first loss, and you supposed to be able to internalize this loss as, hey, you know, what do we need to work on? What great spots there was out there. Like I said, there was a Jordan Lewis pick that was good. There was the D-Law first quarter situation real good out there. There was a whole man Witt doing his thing in the middle of the field. But the problem is that now we can responsibly look at film and we can see how, you know what I mean? We can really see what we need to improve on, because contrary to popular belief, it's been a long time since a team went undefeated and won the Super Bowl. So I would rather have our beat down now opposed to having our beat down in week 8 and week 9, you know. So the problem is, you know, now the talking heads gonna do their job. You know, they're gonna yell to the high heavens, you know, coaching seat on fire, Dak Prescott, sophomore slump. Look for that, and then you're talking about the Ezekiel Elliott controversy and all this stuff. To me, the only sad part about this is that this could have been like one of the games that Ezekiel Elliott could have just been, you know what, you know, suspended for, you know, because he didn't really show up because the team didn't even utilize the kid, you know. That's the crazy part about it collectively. They did not even utilize Ezekiel Elliott. So he would have been better just being suspended. And for ours, we know, we would say, okay, we got 5 more games, you know, 5 more games, because this stuff is just going to continuously. Domestic violence, you know, did he hit her? Did he not hit her? Did the NFL want to push the case down the road? This is just the things that we would never get rid of, you know, the NFL pandering and all the other stuff. But it's so crazy, man. But I don't know. Did the Washington Redskins win? Guys, let me know. Because if they lost, then it'd pretty much be cool, you know. Yeah, we did choke King Quad. The coaching staff let everybody down, man. The coaching staff put everybody in a bad situation, whereas they didn't look like they was organized. And then my guy Dak Prescott, for the life of me, I love, I'm gonna tell you, with a capital L-O-V-E, I love Dez Bryant. But for God Almighty, stop forcing the ball to him. It just seems like, you know, even that interception, my guy old man Witt was open, you know. So it's just one of those things I just do not, I despise, I hate the fact of us forcing the ball to Dez Bryant and forcing the ball, you know. I would rather, me personally, I would rather for us to run the ball 3 times in the red zone versus trying to force and ramming it in. I mean, trying to pass it out. I'd rather for us to ram it, force it into the red zone and kick a field goal to live another day versus that unorthodox pass to Dez Bryant. You know, it looks like you're holding your breath, like, you know. But that pick 6 from my guy Talib, whatever his name is, that, whew. Man, when the last time we had a guy that can jump in front of the ball like that, you know? It's been a minute. Oh, so Redskins won. Well, at least the Eagles lost today. You know, that was a plus. Now I'm rooting for the who's playing Monday night. I think Detroit Lions. I'm rooting for Detroit Lions, you know, to beat the Giants, and maybe the balance of the NFC East will still be okay, and it'll be all right, you know. But it's one of those things, you know. Salute to Snap Johnson, King Quad, RVMBO, and Thino the Barber. You know, salute to you, and Chris White. Thank you for joining in too as well. It's one of those things, guys. It is one of those things. Them talking heads gonna be real ready tomorrow. You know. Man, the play calling was suspect all the way, man. We need good wide receivers. I mean, I think T. Will was unheard of today. Bryce Butler dropped the pass, you know, which wasn't going to be a touchdown or first down anyway. But it's one of those things, man. When you look at the game, yeah, we do need. It's about that time, you know. So those who are out there, who knows a wide receiver that's in the college right now, that's like superb, they can probably fall to us next year. Let me know, you know, because it's almost that time where you're saying, okay, you got number 10 out there, you got Ryan Switz, you don't even do the reverse sweep with him, you don't try, you know. That's the only thing. You don't try to open up the defense and make the defense play honest. You didn't try no reverse sweeps. You didn't try to make them run misdirectional plays. I think you did one time and you just ran away from it. It was so many missed numbers, whereas you could have just at least, you know, and then, yeah, the officials were awful, I must admit, but still at the same time, you just got to play a little bit more responsible. Get the points, you know, early in the game. Go for the points. Don't play too cute with the fake pass read option, and then you pass. If you're gonna do the read options early in the game, let Zeke get the ball. Feed the baby. Feed Zeke. Y'all let that man and then Zeke. Now I'm gonna give him one more game because normally it takes 3 games. So I gave him a pass for Giants game, and I've given him a pass for this game. But this third game, if he don't look like he's hitting those brakes real quick. Although, you know, I'm telling you guys, he got to run the ball, but still, they need to at least run this guy into shape. He still look kind of like he's 5 or 6 pounds over his playing weight. To me, to my eyes. That's what I said about Dak Prescott earlier in game 1. I said he looks like, I don't like the 240 Dak. I like the 230, maybe the 225 Dak. But I digress. Somebody was all in the comment box saying, "Oh, you just saying it because they said his size and all that stuff." No, I'm not saying that because it's size. From my eyes, I'm saying that he looks, to me, he looks like he just Dak looks like he just maybe 5 to maybe 6 pounds overweight, basically, you know. But at the same time, you know, I digress. You know, what do I know, right? What do I know? Stop playing 10 yards off the wide receiver. Yeah. Jada, man, it was so many times I was looking at that game and I'm saying it's 3rd and whatever, right? It's like 3rd and 10, or if it's like 3rd and 8. You sitting here playing so the guy can get the first down. And then I sit there as I was on the couch watching the game, and I said, watch they go across this middle. Bam, there you go, across the middle. 3rd and whatever, you know, first down. I said, watch they go across the middle again. This is the 3rd down play. This guy was just killing it. You know, he was playing like he was John Elway. Across the middle. Across the middle. I'm sitting there like, man, what the hell are they trying to do? They trying to give this game away. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, you know, guy. And I had somebody, I forgot his name. He was saying that the NFL is all rigged or what have you. Is that, man, you can go with that route, but come on, man. 3-4 defense. You can run at 3-4 defense. They typically have smaller linebackers, faster linebackers per se, but you can just run at them, tire them out. But it was just one of those things that they refused to listen to whatever we had to say as talking heads on the fan side. You know, they refused to listen to us, right? You know, I guess they had all the answers. They had all of the solutions, the problems all secured, right? All I said was all they had to do is run the ball. Run the ball. I don't care if you get 1 yard, 2 yards, a -1 yard, 2 yards. But the first, second quarter, you want to beat them up. You want to run at them, you know. So when it gets down to the 3rd and 4th quarter, you can hit them with the play action. The Denver Broncos did everything that the Cowboys supposed to do, technically out there on the field, as it calls or relates to the offensive game plan. At the end of the day, that's why the Cowboys are blown out today, because they took control of the offense. They ran the ball when it was needed. They did their play actions. They was able to get. Now, of course, they had a little help with the officials with the leverage call. That was kind of BS to me. And then they tried to take up the touchdown that Anthony Brown did earlier that day or what have you, when they said the situation with the catch with the fumble was secured by Malik Collins, and they said that he was going down to the ground. He had possession of the ball. And you and I both know that if that's possession of the ball, then what the hell happened with with Dez Bryant 2014 season? You know, same situation. He had possession of the ball. He took 2 steps. He leaned and hit the ball over the goal line. You know, I digress. But I never liked Carol. That was from Jada. Yeah, man. It's gonna be funny. You know, seeing how this thing all progress and seeing what they're gonna go back to the drawing boards. But collectively, I would rather have the blowout now versus week 7, week 8, week 9. So I don't want to see this again. You know, when there's time to put points on the board, put the points on the board. But the Mile High Stadium, that was something else, man. Maybe the altitude and set the attitude for the Cowboys to look so lethargic and slow out there. Just 2 weeks in a row, guys, you know. 2 weeks in a row we look like this, you know, and it just don't look good. It don't look good now, but at least we was able to escape with 1 win. So it's 1-1 right now. And who we play next? I think this is the Rams or the Cardinals. If we don't win that game, if we look the same way we look now, then we all need to go back to the drawing board, and we all really need to really second guess the coaching staff and things like that. That's what I got from there. I'm gonna see if whether or not I have the radio. Maybe we can pull up and listen to what the masses is saying out there and seeing what they're saying out there in the ether. Those who watch the game and all that stuff from 105.3
yeah,
to
we'll
Fan.
have to go back and look at it. But obviously, when they play that style of defense, you have to be able to consistently attack them in the passing game. At different times today, I thought we were able to do that. Other times, we simply weren't. We didn't make the plays for whatever reason. We'll go back and evaluate the tape and hopefully get better because of it.
Evaluate the tape, man. You could have evaluated the tape, man, during halftime, bro, and during the 1 hour situation. Jason Garrett, God dog, man.
Yeah, I think the 4th and 3 was way back in the -20s, right? Yeah, so a little bit of a different situation. I think if you don't make it there, you're essentially giving them points. So where we were on the earlier one, I think we were probably out in the high 30s or maybe in the 40s. So that's the reason you go for it there.
And then to not take the field goal when it's 35-17.
Yeah, it's a good discussion. We talked about it. The challenge there is a 3-score game. You know, you're under 4 minutes. One of the things that you know, if you take the field goal there, you have to score 8 and 7. You have to score touchdowns. With just over 3 minutes to go. And, you know, I think we were down inside the 15-yard line. We had a 4th and 3. That was going to be our best scoring opportunity for a touchdown there. So, again, you know, we had the discussion back and forth. We went with the idea that this is a really good touchdown opportunity for us. Obviously, it didn't work out. You know, you could see that game ending with a couple onside kicks and a 63-yard field goal, you know, more than, you know, making 2 touchdowns with under 3 minutes. So that was the reasoning. That's why we went what we did.
All right, there he is. Jason Garrett as the Cowboys fall in Denver 42-17. You hear his damage assessment. Gavin Dawson and Jesse Hawley here in studio in Dallas. We're going to come back and get into your phone call, but before we do any of that, we do need to pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
This is the exclusive home of Dallas Cowboys football. KRLD FM and HD1 Dallas.
All right, guys. So I'm still here, but it's one of those things, man, that this team really got to fix some things up. But like you said, at least they're fighting. They continue to fight towards the end. Hopefully next week will be a better showing.
We are seeing massive red flags for the Cowboys. The offensive line isn't the same. Dez is getting up there. The league has video on Dak now, and they're able to anticipate and neutralize what he's so good at. So there's 2 different ways you can take it after a horrible defeat, 25-point loss for the Cowboys up there. We'll come back and take your phone calls. Again, the number 877-881-1053. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Know what I'm doing right?
Yeah, so pretty much they just went on the commercial break. And I'll just jump back in and here and there. Gonna look over some film tonight. The game should be posted on my Facebook page for those who are still willing to watch this crappy game. It will be posted on my Facebook page in about, I would say, 10 o'clock my time. That's Central Time, 10 o'clock Central Time. We would have the game so that everybody can look back, look at the scenarios of where we could improve on, and just really look back at what I was talking about as far as the quote unquote, you got to run to you got to first establish the run, and then set up the play action pass to get Dez Bryant open. This team came out passing, came out with 5 wide. Came out with like the hurry up offense on the road. It's just one of those things where you would like to hit the opposition first in the mouth, meaning that you want to take the leverage from them, and that's the crowd, and that's running the ball, and that's setting the tone of the game. The tone was never set, so that's how I look at it. So if you look at it from that imagery, then you will understand a little bit more about football collectively, of where your direction of your team going to go. If you have a Tom Brady-esque quarterback, then maybe you can go with the 4 and 5 wide first, because he's so knowledgeable of the game, and we're so far away from there with Dak. So I would rather, and I mean I would rather, for us to just get out there and run the ball first, push the ball down the field, and even if we was getting 1 or 2 yards, that would set the tone. The defensive guys would have been like, you know what? That's a big number 77. Number 79 can hit. Quote unquote, the 72 kid, Martin, all those guys, they putting this weight on me, man. I'm trying to take this play off, catch a little breath, But I know we couldn't run the ball, but when you're talking about the first and second quarter, you have to attempt. They only ran the ball 9 times in the first half. So, Jackie, if you only run the ball 9 times in the first half, then you really would never establish the run, So that's the problem with that,
And the returns on that are absolutely. I mean, he is a one-man wrecking crew at times in there. And salute to Tank. He's
on pace for 32 sacks this year.
Yeah.
On pace for 32 sacks, baby. That's the record. Let's get excited about 32 sacks from Tank, baby. Woo!
Hey, I think you can get excited about Tank legitimately. Now, that is if you don't think the sky is falling with literally everything else with this Cowboys team. I mean, everything else went bad, and that's why people are reacting. And I got to tell you, as the game was winding down, I anticipated that people would have a fairly long view of this. Like, hey, it's one game. You're not going to win all 16. Things go bad. But, the sky is falling is, I think, a take that's legitimately out there for a lot of people. You look at how much turnover they had on the offensive line, the strength of their team, 4 regulars in the secondary. And then you have the suspensions on your defensive line before the season even starts. You have the injury to Anthony Hitchens. For me, I want to see a lot more games, and I think, boy, they were 13-3 last year. They did a lot of things well. They will be fine, and I don't want to overreact to playing 2 of the best 3 defenses in all of the NFL. To start out, they're not going to be hyper efficient. Dak was still 30 of 50, 60% completions. And he would have had the 1 pick if it wasn't for Dez playing volleyball. He had a nice dig on that one, popped it up for his man to go ahead and take it out of the air. And then the second pick, the one that went back to the house. I don't want to get into blaming people other than the quarterback, but
he threw it. Like the first pick, I understand that Dez should have caught that one. It popped right into Chris Harris Jr.'s hands for an interception. But the second one and the other one that should have been interceptions. I mean, you're throwing passes. We saw one, and I looked at you, looked at me, and you said, I don't know where that ball was going because he was covered. And so a lot of times you're saying, what happened to not the cautious Dak, but what happened to the smart Dak, and saying, you know what? that play's just not there. I'm not going to fit it in there.
I think we're witnessing that. I think when we see those balls that are just floating out into space, he's putting those balls that are being interpreted as horribly inaccurate, he's putting those in only a place that if his receiver turns his head and reaches back for it, he could get it. But we are seeing cautious Dak. That's why he was still completed 60% of his passes and didn't have a horrific game.
I don't think we're seeing that Dak anymore. We're seeing a Dak that's come to the line of scrimmage. He's changing a lot of the plays, which we wanted him to do last year. We wanted him to have more control of this offense. But we're starting to see a Dak now that's taking way more chances, throwing the ball all over the field, and it's not the same Dak that we saw last year. It's not the methodical Dak that moved down the field.
Oh, but it is. It's the same Dak we saw against the Giants and Eagles last year.
Okay,
I think we could bring up those box scores. He was bad against the Eagles. He was bad both games against the Giants.
Every time he has to pass the ball more than 30 times a game, he has bad games. That's not true. That's not the Dak that we want.
That's not going to happen in 85% of the games, though, of the NFL.
But what teams are going to start to do is say, you know what? We're going to start making you have to pass the ball. Like, that's what's going to start being the film out there.
And
we're going to make you pass the ball 30, 35, 40 times a game, and we're going to live with that rather than you hand off to Zeke Elliott and he runs the ball and run the clock out and we have no more air left in the ball for us to do anything with it.
So how many teams can make the Cowboys do that without giving it up in gobs and gobs? I mean, there's only a few teams that can do both things, is what I'm saying. And if you want to go, this is a red flag. If the Cowboys meet up with teams with elite defenses in the playoffs, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. Dak's not good enough to carve it up. Is that what we're saying?
No,
because I would agree with that.
What I'm saying is the Dak that makes this team successful is not a Dak that has to pass the ball 30-plus times in a football game. That Dak won't make this team successful. When he has to pass the ball that many times, he threw the ball 50 times. And I get it. Let's just say 20 of those were at the end of the game, they had no other choice but to throw the ball. But what I'm saying is that a 30-plus passing attempt game, Dak Prescott is not a Dak Prescott that's going to have a ton of success in games. He has to be more of an efficient, 25 to 30 attempts a game where you're not taking that many shots down the field, because now when people are going to start to watch this thing and say, keep Dak in the pocket, make him a down the field passer, and we're starting to see him throw some balls that he had the one play.
Well, yeah, and if you have great corners and great pass rushers, you can play that way against the Cowboys.
This year, they have one of the toughest schedules in the entire league. So they're not playing gimmies. Last year they didn't have such a tough schedule. This year they had one of the toughest schedules in the league. So they're going to play a bunch of tough teams. And I'm going to pull the schedule up so I can see all the teams in order. But they're not playing just gimme teams all year long. They're going to play some really good football teams. And you have to be efficient and effective at that position for this team to have success.
All right, and that's just one part of their struggles because their defense looked rough tonight as well. The segment's brought to you by Susan G. Komen. Learn how the Dallas Cowboys and Susan G. Komen are fighting to end breast cancer. Visit Komen.org/I-promise. We'll start with Chip in New Mexico here on the Cowboys postgame show. Chip, what are you talking about here tonight with us?
Well, guys, a couple of things. First of all, the O-line and the D-line, except for a Tank, they'll be on a milk carton tomorrow because both of them were missing. And the thing about Jesse saying that we got out-coached, I agree 100%. When you see 8 or 9 guys up in the box and you never stretch the field, this team has become the Kansas City Chiefs of old. Dink and dunk down the field, and if they can't run the ball after 10 rushes, Lanahan gives up on it. We ran the ball, 10 times?
Yeah, it was tough. I think Zeke got the ball 9 times for 8 yards. Was that it?
Yeah, 0.9 yards per carry. You can't have that.
But you don't keep running if that's happening. I mean, you're down 21-10. Is that what it was? Are we getting to 17-10 or 24-10 or something? And that's when it really moved to, okay, we're not going to run anymore. I don't want to keep running and just punt on 4th and 9 or 4th and 7.
Zeke had 5 carries in the first half. An entire half, he had 5 carries. At one point in time, Zeke and I both had the same amount of rushing yards, and I just got finished eating a Big Mac.
I hear you.
We just got
But are you saying that's a compelling argument to keep running?
What I'm saying is that you have to. What is your identity? If that is your identity, you have to play to your strengths. You have to go out there and impose your will on the opposite team. You have to go out there. If you're saying that this is what we have the best offensive lineman, we have one of the best running backs in the league, then you have to go out there and impose your will and run the ball down their throats. Just go out there and just dominate and really push guys around. If not, that's what they did today, is played right into the hands of what Denver wanted you to do. Denver sucked all season in the running game. They want you to drop back and pass. That's what they want. They want to unleash Von Miller and unleash all those other guys on the quarterback when he drops back to pass. That's what they want you to do. You have to go out there and establish the line of scrimmage and then get into third down where it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, maybe even 3rd and 5. And now you have a different opportunity to convert on third down. They don't know whether you're going to run, you're going to pass, you're going to screen, do whatever. Yeah. But when it's 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 10, Von Miller's like, let's go. This is what I want. This is what we want from you. And when you look at they have some tough defenses coming forward that guys are going to be able to man up on the outside and send guys after Dak Prescott. They don't run the ball.
He's Jesse Hawley. He believes the sky is falling, Cowboy fans. We're in big trouble here. I say, you know what? You go out there and you play a bad game sometimes. Jesse, you played basketball. Your jump shot's not always there.
Absolutely.
Sometimes
I do.
Practice more?
I take it to the hole.
Okay.
I take it to the hole.
Right. And sometimes you put your head down and you dribble the ball off your foot. For crying out loud. Can we have some understanding that people are human? Okay, 42-17 the final. They looked horrible tonight, though. That is a fact that if I was a coach, I ain't letting them off the hook. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
Hi, everybody. It's Dak Prescott, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Today's a perfect day to fill up with some new Campbell's Chunky Max soup. Chunky Max is loaded with more meat than you can handle, a lot more. We're talking 40% more than a comparable chunky soup. Plus, Chunky Max is made with premium meats like Angus beef, grilled bison, and smoked turkey. Go on, fill up with new Campbell's Chunky Max soup, available now at your local grocery store. Campbell's Chunky Soup, official soup sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
Thomas, Alexander, and Forster. Think differently. Reject boundaries. Win. Thomas, Alexander, and Forster. Fear the Taff. Visit fearthetaff.com. Are you shopping for fine wine?
All right, guys. I had to pick my clothes up, but no running game. What did I miss? Carroll gave Denver momentum too early in the game. Carroll was missing tackles left and right. It was hellacious, man. It was horrible, man. Yeah, somebody text Jesse Hawley, so corny, but it is what it is. Everybody got my number now. I'm getting tons and tons of calls about how about them Cowboys on my phone, but it is all good. Everybody remember our number when we lose and forget it when we win, but it's all good. We still, everybody out here who's diehard Cowboy fans, still salute, man. I know that you guys are still going to watch the games and still support the team. We shouldn't fold up like weak folding chairs and things of that nature. So we still got to be there, still got to be strong. Just the second week. Like I said, it's going to take maybe week 3. Week 3 is next week. Maybe week 4 and week 5 before you see like that secondary, like Jordan Lewis and Cheeto Bay. The thing is, we need to figure out how in the world can hamstrings need to be the first priority. No more of these quirky commercials and things of that nature. Somebody need to figure out a drug that you can take that's legally to heal hamstrings, and it's one of those things, man, that they really need to Yeah. You need to figure out that hamstring. Yeah, Arnold Sanders. Stop the gloom and doom, people. Yeah, right. Everybody needs to stop the gloom. It sounds sort of just like the first game last year, the doom and gloom process. But the thing that I hope that they can get back to will be, hey, we're a run first team. We're going to pound and ground. And then we're going to establish the run to pass later. And Brian Bradford said Zeke is fat. Look at the pictures in last year from this year. Everybody changed from year to year. Running backs only have a lifespan of 4 years. So, And from what I saw from the first 2 games last year, everybody was saying put Alfred Morris in. You know, y'all remember that?
If I make more plays, we give ourselves a chance in that game, and I just simply didn't make the plays. There's no excuse for it. And playing like that, you won't win a game. Doesn't matter who you play.
How do you size up that defensive backfield you went up against today?
Yeah, one of the best in the league. I mean, we played a good defensive back last week in the Giants, and I think this might be the best in the AFC in the defensive back, from both corners to the safety to the nickel players. So I mean, they do a good job of matching up all around.
What did they take away from you?
Say again?
What did they take away from you?
I don't know if they necessarily took that much away from us, more than it was me just not making some throws for the most part. I mean, they did a good job. They're sticky defenders. They were on us, and they made me throw in tight windows and tight areas, and I just simply didn't make some of them.
With Elliott having so little room to run, was it a function of you needed to make some of those plays on the outside to loosen it up, to have them adjust, or how did that work?
Yeah, I feel like if I'd have made some of those plays on the outside, I probably would have forced them to get in the zone more than their man coverage that they were in majority of the night. And then usually that's when our run game hits. So.
Did you find yourself pressing at all in this game?
No, I mean, off the top of my head, I'd say no. I mean, I've got to go back and look at the film and just see the things that that I was doing to I guess, to characterize whether I felt like I was or not secondhandly.
You haven't really had one of these as a pro yet, you know that feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good feeling at all. As I said, it doesn't matter who you play. When you play the way I played tonight, you're not going to win many games in this league.
What was going on in your mind and with the team when you guys had to go in the locker room for that weather delay?
I mean, it was part of it. I mean, that was the first time I've ever had something like that happen, but it was just the fact of just wanting to get back out there and get the game going again. I don't think we were worried or anything like that. I think we did a good job of coming in actually and game planning what we're going to do when we went back out there on the field. I think that's more so than anything. I mean, yeah, we just started slow, and they had the momentum. They're at home, great environment, and they thrived off of that. We never got ourselves going. We never gathered that momentum as much as we should have. We did for a second there on a turnover and almost another turnover right there on that kickoff, and we didn't capitalize on it. And I think they just grabbed the momentum right back and ran with it.
Put your finger on why you started. You felt like you guys had that, the energy after you started off slow. You know why?
No, I really don't know why. I mean, I guess I got to talk to the other guys on the team and figure that out for the most part. I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, I felt like coming in the game, we're ready to go. I mean, this team has a lot of great vets that make sure we're that way. That make sure we're ready when we come into the game. So I felt like we were, but we came out, didn't execute much, and we're flat pretty much.
Because this is the first time that this team really hasn't followed its good for nothing. It's been so successful at. I mean, even the Packers game, you fell behind, but you got back, you got the balance back, sort of thing. So this is really the first time you haven't been able to and got away from what you wanted to do.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like we had late in the game, we had some success in moving the ball, and then I just simply, me personally, didn't capitalize when we got in the red zone on making those plays and giving those guys chances, and then throwing that pick at the end. I mean, that's just. I mean, I think the offensive line did a good job there, giving me time. I mean, the receivers were getting open, and I just didn't make some throws right there at the end. So, I mean, we score those two last possessions, and it's a different feeling. No, I don't know if I'll ever say that.
What happened on the scramble where at the end of the first quarter? Did you need to get both? Did you get both your ankles on that?
I mean, it was a football play. I mean, I got tangled up, but I'm good.
Jerry said that this is what happens in football. When you get a couple games like this, he said we will bounce back. You're feeling
100%. I mean, we're gonna learn from this. We're gonna be better because of this. Honestly, thankfully, it's week 2 and not later in the year. So it's a lot of football left to be played within this season, and we got an extra day to get back going before we play again on Monday. So I mean, it's something we'll learn from. We'll go and we'll look at this on the film, and we'll definitely get better from this and correct our mistakes.
Jack, do you feel like the defensive approach again?
I really don't.
With the run game and what they were doing, was that any different than what you had seen other teams try to load up and stop you guys at different points since you've been a quarterback?
No, not really, and I don't think that was anything different that they were doing because of us. I mean, if you go back and you look at their games, that's who they are. That's what they do. They blitz and they're man-to-man on the outside. I mean, as I said before, we just simply simply just didn't execute our game plan and play to the way that we normally play and to our standards.
Dak Prescott. Dak saying, when you play the way I played tonight, you're not going to win many games in this league, sort of echoing Jason Garrett, who at the podium essentially said, their inability to score came down to Dak not executing in the passing game. Very interesting indeed here. The segment brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance as the Cowboys offense and defense struggled mightily in Denver. 42-17 the final. Gavin Dawson and Jesse Holley. And we're back. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
Relationships are
I don't know what happened here, but give me about a few seconds here. Let me see what is all of this going around. But it is what it is altogether collectively. Close this out. You want to close it out? Yeah. All right. And it's one of those things. It's just one of those things. All right, so guys, let me see what we have in the chat box. That can beat them with arm blitz. That's from Type Ella. Okay, Seattle defense is gonna be tough too as well. Yeah, everybody looks like they got a ferocious defense out there. Here we go. Carlos B saying Cooper Rush is a better passer. All right, so and then our defense, I thought they had invested into, Carlos, stop the madness, but it's so many things, Now we do have, not calling you Carlos B, a fickle fan, not calling you that, but we do have a lot of fickle fans, those who want us to win every game, and then when we lose, the sky is falling. It's not that. That's not the scenario here. It's just one of those things where you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. This is how life is. It's just only the second week. I would rather for us to lose now than versus losing a game like this in week 9 or week 10 or what have you. So it's a healthy loss, basically. That's what I'm saying. So you guys got to get that in your mind. Get that in your mind that it's a healthy loss, because now you can regroup. You can put aside the things that you need to work on, and hopefully, this time, week 3, we'll be able to get everything going. Dak weight is 226, not 240. Nah, Jackie, they weighed him in, and he was closer to the 240 range. Now, when you look online and all that, it may say 226 or what have you, but he's closer to 235, 240 now. So he need to lose it. He need to get down to his playing weight, what he was last year, or just a little bit thinner. And we saw that, that longevity with the Tom Brady's of the world, and those quarterbacks who've been proficient, like the John Elways and all those quarterbacks that have been proficient with their weights and all that stuff. Now, granted, if he can, get to 235 and 230-ish, maybe he'd be a little bit more elusive, Tyreek, give Noah Brown and Ryan Switzer a chance. We would like to see what they look like there on the field, But Kellen Moore is walking clown. He is a bleeping whatever. Sucks. Yeah. So that's from Kim. Hey, it is what it is, guys. Let me see what else is going on here. And I think the radio station has stopped. So that's pretty much it on that aspect of it. But I'm really, really, really upset about this game altogether. But at the same time, we just have to roll with the punches. We'll regroup, look at the film, look over everything that we need to take a look at, and evaluate it from there. But I'm really finna close this thing out. I've been running this thing for like 45 minutes now, 44 minutes, give or take. So you guys leave your comments down below. Let me know how you guys feel about the game altogether. Some bright spots before I run, and we'll chart it out from there. I do know that you guys want me to take a look at D-Law film again, Jason Witten film. We do need to look at how we can improve our offense attack versus the defense. We need to scout the who we play next week. I forgot that just that quick. I think the Cardinals, somebody said. So we need to scout the Cardinals. I think they don't give up at all. Jordan K, Law Nation, are you worried about Dak? No, I'm not worried about Dak. It's only the second week. Just my only thing is I just wish he was just a little bit. He can run out of the pocket, you know, but I wish that he was just a little bit leaner from a sense of quicker on his feet, you know. Although he could run faster than Tony Romo, it's just I saw a few plays where the first down marker was like right there, and he slid from a healthy or safe vantage point. But if you're gonna be that size, then you might as well dive head first. The first down is right there. But that'll be just me nitpicking. So I don't have any reservations on him on that perspective, I guess, or that spectrum, whatever you want to call it. But the conditionings, why would the conditioning coach let him weigh so much? He said from this. This is from Sarah. This is from Jackie. Remember, Dak came into OTAs in great shape. Well, he's in great shape, and he's big and bulky, but at the same time, you know, he still is a little heavier than what he was the year before. And like I said, football shape is a whole lot different from the average civilian shape that what we have out here. Tell me, Law, did Aikman ever run? You know, Aikman never ran. I can say never because he did run some plays, you know, and was able to get the ball down. But you're talking about, you know, two spectrums or two different type of quarterbacks, you know. Aikman was a hell of an accurate quarterback, you know, and he was very, he put it like this. Aikman, compare Aikman to Dak Prescott. For those who didn't get a chance to watch Aikman, a lot of people watch Aikman towards his latter part of his year. Aikman ran the ball. Aikman ran the wishbone in Oklahoma, and he also ran ran a lot of plays in UCLA when he played in his earlier years. But when Aikman got older, of course, he looked like a statue, a Dan Marino type of quarterback. But Aikman was damn near one of the most accurate quarterbacks of his time during his era. And this is when you was able to bump and hit receivers beyond 5 yards. So it's a whole different type of game. That's why I really don't do the Roger Staubach versus the Tom Brady's or the Troy Aikman versus the Tony Romo's, because a lot of people look at stats and they so hung up on stats and say, well, Tony Romo passed the ball more efficient than Troy Aikman per se. And when you go back and you look at the rulings and the defensive mindset of coaches back in those days, it's a whole different stratosphere. And it's just what it is, guys. You know, I'm not even set up to take calls, Vach, man. But what I can do, if you want to jump on, man, I can send you the link or what have you. We can restart this thing up, and you can man the phones if you want to do that. Let me know, because I'm pretty much about to wrap it up or what have you. We can kick up another stream. Just let me know what you want to do, fam. Talking to Vach. You know, like I said, D-Law, this is from GDA Official. I think he's a good diehard Denver Bronco fan. You know, you guys looking good. You know, your division looks good. We're up later, you know. Okay, well, yeah, cool. You know, that'll work too as well. No, it's not. You know, who is this? Terrence, they should have did more play action on the offense. Well, Terrence, in order for them to do the play action, they would have had to establish something. They didn't establish nothing. They did not establish nothing. Rings don't matter. And he got the numbers. I don't know, Carlos B. I don't know what you guys talking about on that aspect. LA suspension has no effect on the outcome of the game. Well, Elliott was last year, his demeanor was different. He was a raw, routed up type of guy. And if you guys remember the second game or third game, I believe, against the 49ers, I think we was down 21 or 14-0 or something like that. and he ran out on the field and he was telling the defense, get y'all stuff together. Elliott don't have no type of enthusiasm now. He just sitting on the bench, you know, and just waiting for his number to be called. Normally last year, you guys got to understand, last year he was in their face. He was talking noise. He was trying to get under the skin of his opposition. But now he just very docile in a sense. So it's just one of those things, man. Bad interior blocking made us one-dimensional. Yeah, it did. But even though this is from, I got a little chat group that's going on. And this is what Voch said, bad interior blocking made us one-dimensional. And then he said, what is the second thing that stood out? Poor quality play. Yeah. I mean, it's so many things. How I feel about Dez Bryant. Footsteps are sounding loud for Dez Bryant, you know. I mean, it's always, I think the ghost of the past is always stumping at him. He made a sweet catch out of the sideline, and the officials try to overturn it a little bit, but you zoom in closer, you saw his foot down. So Dez right now, I think somebody mentioned that he's a 50-50 guy. You know, maybe a 50% chance he'll catch it, a 50% chance he'll drop it. But that got to be a little bit more accurate too as well. So it's one of those things, which comes first, chicken or the egg. So it's one of those things. I will hope and pray that maybe it's the second week or third week jitters going around. You know, maybe fourth or fifth week he'll be back to his Dez-like self. But outside of that, that's only wishful thinking, right? That's only wishful thinking. Hoping that we would get something going in the right spectrum. Man, guys, that's all I have for today, man. I'm trying to hold out. Maybe we'll pick up something a little later on, and I have some more filming out there for everybody to review. That's been my time, guys. I really thank you guys for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace.